head of state says national projects should not be subject to any horse trade. He calls for national unity as Guyana observes Freedom Day and faces the first ball as the Caribbean Premier League T20 opens. These and other stories in this week's edition of The Diary, the Government Information Agency program that provides a recap of the highlights of the country's president for the week July 27 to August 2. I'm your host, Fabian Krause. Now for the details. With compromise seemingly the only way the Milo Falls hydropower project could gain legislative support, the head of state is arguing that a national project of this nature should not be subject to any horse trade. The rejection of the hydroelectric and guarantee of loans amendment bills will severely erode the nation's hopes of hydropower coming on stream anytime soon, especially for domestic and commercial consumers. The opposition's objections to the hydro project are still unclear, except that it will remain until the government gives in to their demands. As the president addresses stakeholders at a consultation forum recently, he expressed the view that the interest of the nation should be the first and foremost priority.
This is not a project that we can bargain, give me this and I give you that. This is not that type of project. This project must stand on its own. It must be recognized, the importance of it to the future development of this country must be recognized by all.
On July 18, the Joint Parliamentary Opposition voted down the hydroelectric bill that sought to establish a protected areas for biodiversity conservation and the Guarantee of Loans Amendment Bill that sought to raise the debt ceiling and Guyana's borrowing capacity. The government's invitation for the opposition to have insight into information and documentation on the project had no impact on the July 18 parliamentary action.
Shortly after becoming president of this country and looking at the direction that I think we should go, I'm convinced that what I've just said, that we need to have strong infrastructure, new infrastructure, to get to the other level that we want to get. I invited both opposition parties to have a technical presentation about this project. And I dreaded to think that this should be caught up in any kind of political horse trading. The information that we have given to the opposition, I will say, I believe that they have as much information on this project as we ourselves have on it, because we shared almost everything, if not everything, with them to convince them.
Concerns that the country will incur debt as a result of this project was brushed off by the head of state, who instead believes that the country has more to gain.
To talk about the debt that we are going to incur here is not talking about the debt that so oppressed us in the past because our economy was minuscule. We have now a much bigger economy. Secondly, the savings alone from this project will be enormous, not for the country as a whole and for the individuals in the society.
In the face of a political opposition that has been on a cutting spree since the start of the 10th Parliament, the Guyanese head of state said he refuses to relent and is calling on his supporters to take the same stance. Speaking in both capacities as the head of state and the governing party's general secretary at the party's 30th Congress on August 2, the president accused the opposition of seeking to reduce the parliament to a farce.
What they fail to see is that every time they pat themselves on the back for supposedly embarrassing the government, it is in fact a defeat for the brighter future they claim to want for our people.
Among those that suffered a severe blow is the Milo Falls hydropower project, which has been delayed further with the absence of support for two pieces of legislation that would have cleared the way for the commencement of construction. Amidst the loud cheers, the head of state assured that his government's agenda is one directed to the people's well-being.
All our hard work is for you, the people, the families and the children and future children of Guyana. Every project I talk of today is directed for that. All the sweat, the frustrations, the efforts that have gone into making these things happen is for the sole purpose of making a better life for the people of Guyana.
In his address to the Congress, he listed a number of achievements that the country has made under his administration since 1992. You're watching The Diary. There's more still ahead.
About 190,000 students stand to benefit from government's school uniform program in 2013. Guyana is the only CARICOM country that is providing this form of assistance for its students to ensure all can access education. This initiative caters for students from nursery level to grade 11. The Housing Ministry is expanding its reach to all categories of workers. A four-stage initiative has been implemented to create opportunities for working professionals from the clerical stage right up to high income. Homes are being offered for as low as $4.9 million. This is a part of the ministry's quest and firm determination to better living standards of all citizens, as government seeks to ensure all Guyanese are proud homeowners.
The Milo Falls hydropower project is the medium and long-term strategy for the country's electricity sector. It is where cheap and reliable energy will be derived for consumers both at the domestic and household levels. Guyana could become a nation taking the lead globally for renewable power and build investor confidence. Financial closure with the Inter-American Development Bank is within reach, and preparatory works on the long stretch of road to the Milo Falls site have gone a far way. The support of all stakeholders is critical to the success of this important project. The annual Emancipation Day celebration was the usual scene of camaraderie, cultural enlightenment, and entertainment. This was when the head of state visited the national park on August 1. The African Cultural and Development Organization ACDA event was the usual scene of camaraderie, enlightenment, and entertainment as Guyana commemorated the 175th anniversary of the abolition of slavery and emancipation of enslaved Africans. The head of state sat alongside opposition leader David Granger and other stakeholders to witness some of the cultural presentations. Drumming, a key feature of the African culture, was prominently showcased, with performances from the Hebrew family of Guyana, the Buxton Fusion Drummers, and the Flame of Heart cultural group from Linden. The three sisters, who gained popularity for the click song, which impressed many as an accurate impression of the African dialect, performed. A parade entitled Hello Africa that included a contingent from neighboring Suriname was included in the cultural presentations that was ongoing simultaneously with exhibits on displays at the outer corridor. African attire was adorned by the majority, with a few exceptions. A commemorative event to mark the 250th anniversary of the 1763 Berbice Slave Rebellion was staged in New Amsterdam on the weekend of July 28, and the head of state used the special guest appearance to appeal for national unity. African drumming, dance and drama featured at a cultural event at State House organized by the Council of Friends of New Amsterdam to commemorate the anniversary of the 1763 Berbice Slave Rebellion. A military parade by the Scouts Association, the Discipline Services and cultural organizations constituted the welcoming party upon the president's arrival. The rebellion led by Kofi was for many historians the starting point in the struggle for freedom against slavery in Guyana, the Caribbean, and the wider world. The Guyanese head of state, in his address to the gathering, said there are important lessons to be learned from such a historic rebellion.
If history is to mean anything, if it is to have any meaning for us, it must help us to learn from our mistakes and help us to forge ahead, to build. Because surely the logic of the struggle, of the fight against slavery, was not only to end slavery as a system, but also to liberate the spirit of mankind. The Berbice slave uprising could have been like the Haitian Revolution had it not been for the disunity that developed among the leadership of the movement at that time. Guyana could have been independent a long time before 1966, and we could have gone farther ahead had it not been for the division in 1955. Today, we must use our history as a lesson to understand that when we are united, we can move mountains and we can go faster and farther ahead.
The 250th anniversary of the Berbice Slave Rebellion coincided with the 190th anniversary of the 1823 Slave Rebellion, the 175th anniversary of the abolition of slavery and emancipation, and simultaneously with the arrival of East Indian immigrants and others. Guyana proudly marks these occasions in recognition of the contributions the various origins made to the multi-ethnic, multicultural nature of the society.
The history of the slave uprising, the history of indentureship, the history of the struggles and sacrifices of our Amerindian brothers and sisters are all the history of all Guyanese. And therefore, this is the history of our country.
The 250th anniversary of the Berbice Slave Rebellion was marked by an international presentation, panel discussions and workshops, daily cultural and photographic displays, candlelight vigil, and a libation ceremony on the eve of emancipation. Stay with us, there's more features still ahead. The Milo Falls hydropower project is the medium and long-term strategy for the country's electricity sector. It is where cheap and reliable energy will be derived for consumers both at the domestic and household levels. Guyana could become a nation taking the lead globally for renewable power and build investor confidence. Financial closure with the Inter-American Development Bank is within reach, and preparatory works on the long stretch of road to the Milo Falls site have gone a far way. The support of all stakeholders is critical to the success of this important project.
The Housing Ministry is expanding its reach to all categories of workers. A 4-stage initiative has been implemented to create opportunities for working professionals from the clerical stage right up to high income. Homes are being offered for as low as $4.9 million. This is a part of the ministry's quest and firm determination to better living standards of all citizens, as government seeks to ensure all Guyanese are proud homeowners. About 190,000 students stand to benefit from government's school uniform program in 2013. Guyana is the only CARICOM country that is providing this form of assistance for its students to ensure all can access education. This initiative caters for students from nursery level to grade 11.
Producer, director, writer, and host Dr. Tukufu Zubiri presented a copy of his film African Independence to the Guyanese head of state. It is a portrayal of the African heritage and movement for freedom and liberation that premiered here on August 2. Dr. Zubiri, an 11-year host of the PBS program History Detectives, was accompanied in his courtesy call by Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Dr. Frank Anthony and Director of the African Cultural and Development Association Dr. Eric Phillips.
I'm an educator. Sometimes I can perform well, sometimes I can entertain well, but I do it all for the purpose of education. And my films, that is what they are for. My television program in the United States, that's what it's for. I am extremely happy to be here in Guyana, especially at this moment, because at this moment is the 50th anniversary of the Organization of African Unity, and it's the 175th anniversary of the emancipation of all of the slaves under the British Crown, if you will, at that time. And so to me, it means a lot, a tremendous amount, to premiere our film, African Independence, here.
The Oakland, California resident who changed his name from Antonio McDaniel in his quest to identify and make a connection with the motherland discussed with the Guyanese head of state and team a wide range of issues pertaining to history and present-day occurrences, as well as the task ahead to create a better world. An exciting match between the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Steel bowled off at the Guyana National Stadium at Providence after the head of state faced the first ball in the highly anticipated Caribbean Premier League T20. The president drove the ball through the covers to start off the tournament and later reflected on his play.
I haven't played cricket for about 45 years, so the fact that I got the bat and the ball is an achievement.
The fast-paced, well-attended, exuberant 20-over battle was between the Guyana Amazon Warriors and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Steel. Following the Pakistan tour of the West Indies, CPL T20 has brought the Guyana National Stadium at Providence back to life, following a furore that resulted in a 2-year hiatus to cricket locally. President Ramatar was all elated.
I think everybody will enjoy the cricket, and we hope that Guyana will win this game. But it's a tremendous atmosphere. I'm very happy to be here and to be part of it.
The home team's dominance continued on the evening of August 2 when they faced the Jamaica Talawas with a convincing win. Well, that's all in this week's edition of The Diary for the period July 27 to August 2. The highlights before we go: the head of state says a national project like the hydro should not be subject to any horse trade. He calls for national unity as Guyana observes Freedom Day and faces the first ball as the Caribbean Premier League T20 opens. Do join us again next week when we'll bring you more. I am your host, Fabian Kraus. Thanks for joining us and have a safe and a pleasant rest of the week.